never sees the sun. Where are the lost, are the heroes, and the thieves are...
So many people might have problems because they don't want to spend $4 on the expansion pack. So this is a moon mission for the non-expansion pack people. Let's get started. Okay, here is the full rocket. So, let's fly it. Let's get the show on the road, shall we? So we take off, and then we're going to keep going up. Now this is like a beginner's lesson / guide. So, when I come back, this will be the next step you have to do. So far, just keep going up. So now we're coming up upon 30, which you will see a warning, past the Kármán line, leaving the atmosphere and reaching space. At this point, you turn right. Sorry if I said that too fast, I speak fast. After you reach 30 kilometers, which you see up in the right-hand corner. After you reach the Kármán line, and up in the top, it's past 30 kilometers, you will need to turn right to start your orbit. And when these two are empty, just drop them both. And then after this one is empty, you drop it. You get up towards this point, so you time warp until you're at the top of the arch, and you fire this one. Then it'll start widening your orbit and widening your orbit and widening your orbit until it runs out. Then, after it runs out, drop it, start the next one. Then this one should get you most of the way there, or all of the way there. It might be all the way there. I'm pretty sure it's all the way there. Look how big that's getting. Yep, all the way. You reach low Earth orbit. Now, drop it. Now that's going to stay in orbit since you're already in orbit. So what I do at this point is clear debris, which makes everything that doesn't have a capsule attached to it terminate itself. So now, what you're supposed to do is you would go to the moon, you'd click set as target, and it would make a small, that is called your prograde point. So prograde, as you can see, when I start accelerating, I start moving right. Prograde is basically the direction you are already going. Retrograde is the opposite way you're going. So clockwise is my prograde, and counterclockwise is my retrograde. So pro, forward, retro, backward. So R, reverse, retrograde, the opposite direction. So you would come right here to your prograde point. You would turn in the direction that you're going. And according to this arrow, I'm going that way. Get inside of the prograde point and fire. I should probably turn that on. Now what this is going to do is this is going to keep on pulling your orbit out until it makes a big oval. That big oval is gonna say some words at the end of it. Any second now. Notice your apoapsis, which is the largest point that you're going to travel, starts going, and there's the words moon approach. So then right here you would like to stop it, and I did not stop it in time, which is when you would turn around and go retrograde to get it going. Better thing, I'm going to turn around again. I'm going to lessen my thrust power so that I don't go too fast and miss it. I'm going to watch the moon now. Going to quickly thrust a little bit so you see the apoapsis move, and there you go. It's right there. So now I'm going to take it down a lot more to like 3 or 1.9, I guess. And it's going to come in slowly. Come in until you're about 21 or 20-ish kilometers. It could be a little bit more, it can be a little bit less. Now you turn your thrust all the way up and you time warp towards the moon. Now as you get closer to the moon, it is a good idea to slow down the time warp or you'll go too fast. Quickly destroy some things. You'll start going way too fast. So you should slow down so that you don't drift farther, because this circle right here, you'll go past that and you will most likely not make it to the moon with that mission. Now, pros can somehow fix that and maneuver themselves back, but I'm not a pro, and if you're watching me, you're most likely not a pro. So you get here, then you do retrograde. So we're traveling in this direction, we're traveling up the arch. So we turn back around and fire in retrograde, which closes in our orbit. Closes in, like pulling it in, making an orbit. Now you just continue firing retrograde, because what it's going to do is that's going to pull your orbit into the planet or the moon. It's going to start forming an arc. So you're basically taking off in reverse, which is landing. You keep on going till it forms a straight line. Now, it might be dangerous to do this, but I warp till the point where it makes me not be able to warp anymore, and I turn my engine on. I start slowing down, and I put my landing legs out. And then you just slowly float your way down by using the engine to slow yourself down. Word of warning, if you're like above 6 meters per second in velocity, you should slow down. So, I'm not going to talk much right now because I'm concentrating. And you're going to hear somebody blasting on a saxophone in the background, but that's fine. Turn on RCS also helps sometimes. You can slow down by thrusting upward. So now I'm getting closer and I'm above 5 meters per second, so I'm going to start slowing down. But not too much, because otherwise it'll start going back up. And it looks like I'm going to land right in that little dimple, that little crater. So now I'm going to start slowing down. And as I come in, I slow down a little bit more. And now I can use the RCS, thrust upward. I just thrust a little bit. So now I'm at 3. And you can still land at speeds like that. You have a high chance of breaking your landing gear, but like that. But I landed. So now pull the landing gear up, turn your engine on, fire upwards. Now you're doing the exact same thing that you just did, but, well, actually it's the exact same thing. You're going to make your orbit go up. Now at this point I suggest waiting until you get above 5 kilometers, because you cannot warp until you're above 5 kilometers. So you get to 5 kilometers, then you warp to the top, to your apoapsis, like you did back on Earth. So when you're at that top, you turn it off, and you turn to the right, and then you fire until you make your orbit. At this point, it's easier. Click on the Earth, set as target. You go, use your knowledge that you have of the prograde point. Go to the prograde point and burn in it. Here's the fun part. You don't even have to go in orbit around Earth. Just wait until that line is inside of the Earth, and then you warp. Sorry, Facebook notifications. Then you warp. Then you just make sure that you're not going to crash into that stage, and you separate. You click that separator and you separate. Now you wait until you reach, I'd say, about 500. You can pull it below 2,500, but I'd say reach a height of 500 and pull the parachute. So I'll come back at like 1,000. So here we are coming up upon 500, and we pull the parachute. So now we're gonna blissfully fall. And something that you might find useful is at 100, it automatically opens up the parachute. If it's already open, it opens it fully. See, because it's only half open now. So when you get underneath 100, it fully opens the parachute. You're going to start floating down till you hit the ground at 2.9 meters per second. Any minute now, or second now. And 3, 2, 1, touchdown. Your parachute disappears. You can go out. Ooh, the other part fell. You can destroy that. You can go right here, recover. Reach low Earth orbit, check. Entered moon sphere of influence, check. Entered moon orbit, check. Landed on moon surface, check. Escaped moon sphere of influence, check. Landed, check. So, that's your beginner's guide to getting to the moon. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.